Guys, I hope you are all treating Chief with the respect that he deserves. He is outstanding, and yes, we do share the interest of being in real estate. And I'm a real estate agent and a real estate investor, and that's where we kind of both are. But I want to get into the characteristics that you kind of can uphold in being a successful person in your career path, whatever that is. If it's real estate, that's awesome. We can talk about that later. If it's something else, then that's awesome as well. But to speak onto it more is going the extra mile. You guys are already doing that right now, being in JROTC. You guys are going the extra mile wearing your uniforms. You're doing all these extra activities, community service. So I want to first talk to you guys. Why are you guys in JROTC? Yeah, why are you in JROTC? New experience. Awesome. What was your name? John. Awesome, John. How about you?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement? Okay. Nice. That's a good start. Cool. How about you?
I had an interest in following arts and activities.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. That's awesome. So I actually never used one of these before. Is this? All right. There we go. So everyone has their own reasons of being here, right? And so did I. I kind of joined because it was brand new when I was coming in my freshman year, and all my buddies were doing it. And that's kind of why I joined. And honestly, I didn't really know why I was joining. It was just this new fun thing. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do this thing. It's cool, community service, PT, it's military, it's awesome. But again, I kind of had no reason why I was doing it. And I found myself a few months later, and like years into it, at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting my hair cut every 2 weeks, thinking, why am I in this program? What am I doing? I'm tired. I'm ironing my shirt. Thankfully, I'm in the ABUs. I don't even know if you guys do the ABUs anymore. But so I was in the uniform. I was putting on my ranks, and I was tired. And I was like, why am I in this program? And I didn't really understand why at the time. And I'm sure you guys don't really have a clear reason as to why. Some of you guys do, obviously. But you will have a way better perspective in 5 years since I was, in your guys' seats 5 years ago. So my objective today is to give you guys the perspective of what it's like to be looking back, being in your guys' position right now in 5 years. And I think that is the most valuable thing right now. You guys are time billionaires. You have the time to be learning how to be anything you want in the world, and hopefully this presentation kind of helps you become that a little bit more. Today, JROTC is holding you guys accountable, but tomorrow, you have to be holding yourself accountable. I know that's kind of cringy with the today and tomorrow, but you have Chief and you have Senior to be holding you guys accountable to wearing your uniform, going to community service, doing all these different things that you won't have. You won't have when you graduate. You won't have it unless you make that for yourself. So take the principles that you're learning today and carry that into your everyday life. So now if we're going to compare people to that aren't in JROTC, we're going to see most people don't have these characteristics that you guys are instilled of showing up early, of having discipline, like me, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure you guys all relate to that. Shining your shoes and iron your clothes, doing all that, community service. You guys have that leverage in responsibility at a young age, which is a privilege. And I didn't know this at the time, and that's why I want to come talk, is because this is something that you think may be a chore, you think maybe something that it's like, oh, why am I really doing this? It is something for your future self, and be appreciative of that. So this is something that I kind of live by on a daily basis. If you do what everyone else does, you become what everyone else is. So when you go the extra mile, when you really work hard to stand out, you get more opportunities, and you get more opportunities for success in whatever career path it is, whether it's sports. I played sports in both high school and college, and that is something that you also get from this program is is the discipline to actually make it happen. Oh. So I want to introduce you to the 90-10 rule. Can someone read what the 90-10 rule is? Who wants to read it?
90% you're doing what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
Other 10% going the extra mile.
Going the extra mile. Okay, what is like 90% what's expected? Who wants to? Okay, yeah.
All your homework, chores, assignments you should be doing as your responsibilities.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so that's exactly it. So you're just doing all the things that you're already going to be doing regardless. That was homework, showing up to class, doing all these things that aren't necessarily pushing you to the next level and getting you to succeed. And then for you guys, what is going the extra mile? What in in your guys' world right now is working extra hard and going the extra mile? What does that look like? Ma'am.
Doing things that like other people don't do. So like if you're an athlete and stuff, like waking up early to get your stuff ready while also being in this program. So having to like get like uniform ready and stuff. So
Yeah.
doing more than other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was playing baseball, I had my uniform as uniform day. We had a game after. I would be showing up to the locker room. I'd have to take it all down. I'd have to hang it up properly so it wasn't all wrinkled, so my ironing the next uniform day wouldn't be as bad. And that's totally going the extra mile. All your teammates, I don't know if most of your teammates probably aren't in the program, don't understand that. Maybe some of them are. That's good if they are. they understand it. But for me, what I had in the 90-10 perspective was, what am I trying to get to? What's my end goal? And that shaped my 10%. The 90% is what's expected of you, but that 10% is what's going to get you to your future goal. And for me, it was getting a scholarship to play college baseball, which thankfully I was able to do. And I think a lot of that had to do with the discipline that I learned in JROTC. And I'm super grateful for that. Now, translating that into my professional career, I've seen success in real estate from this going the extra mile, from the extra 10%. And that's me reading books at night, working the extra hour, doing podcasts, coming here and speaking with you guys, and doing the things that necessarily aren't expected of me, but again, standing out and taking the opportunities that I'm able to create for myself or just get. So like Chief said, Chief didn't ask me to come here. I asked him, and it's because the JROTC program means so much to me. And it means a lot to me because of all the things I'm saying right now. It's the discipline that you guys are getting instilled in yourself. And prior to me, diving a little bit deeper into this, I want to ask you guys again, what are your favorite parts of JROTC right now with the Gatorade bottle? What's your favorite part of JROTC right now?
I probably have to say PT.
PT? Awesome, sweet. Yes? Community service, nice. What's your favorite one? What do you guys do now?
We're having a car wash today. Hopefully we schedule it.
There we go. That's awesome, sweet. Yes?
All the friends that you can create.
Nice. Yeah. Totally growing the network. That's awesome. So, the main saying that I like to live by, and I think when you have this overarching community and program to be a part of, you can kind of keep this in the back of your mind. And so when you go the extra mile, when you help people, when you stay committed to that standard, good things happen to you in life. And this is the main agenda that I've been trying to keep throughout my professional career. And I did not know this at the time, that I kind of learned that in JROTC. And I would not be in the position that I am today if I did not know the principles of JROTC, and I'm super grateful for that. So how does this relate to Financial Friday? I know I don't want to come in here and talk about all these disciplinary things that I know you guys are already probably grilled into you all the time. How does this relate to Financial Friday? It doesn't actually, guys. The slides end here. I don't really know what I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. So step by step. So again, number one is going the extra mile and staying true to those principles. that is the number one thing that is going to be leading you to getting a good income and getting a good job. So picking an industry that you love, working your tail off, and providing the most valuable possible. And this can be in any avenue you want. I'm sure you guys have heard that if you're a Navy SEAL, getting a job after your service in the teams is super easy because everyone wants to have a Navy SEAL working with them. I believe that that goes, maybe not to the highest level as that is, but that goes to the same extent with JROTC. So you have that working for you. Take advantage of it. Now, when we're investing, we can talk about investing and income and all that stuff later. I wanted to really dive deep into the characteristics and principles that are able to put you in a good spot to win in the 2 and 3 column, which is getting good income and investing. So invest in the things that you know. For me, I invest in real estate. I work in real estate all the time. Took all the money that I made in real estate and I put it back into a real estate investment. And that is what I suggest for you guys as well. What do you think I'm about to say here? It all starts with Jacob. What do you think I'm going to say right here? I don't want to put you on the spot. Going the extra mile again. It's going the extra mile. You're putting yourself in this position to succeed. So I want to leave you guys with this question today. Who are you becoming by the choices you're making right now? Does anyone have an answer for me here? Who do you want to become? I know this is a very loaded question, so you can think on it. But who do you want to become? And then what are the choices that you're doing right now that are getting you to become that person?
I'm going to become a leader in business.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, what are you doing right now that's going to be putting you in that position?
I'm making my own startups, and I'm taking various business classes and clubs, and I'm researching real estate outside of my time in high school.
Let's go. Sweet. Sweet. Yes.
I want to produce music in the future, and I am taking many music classes and writing my own music to start doing the songs.
Nice. That's awesome. What kind of music?
Rock music.
There we go. Sweet. That's awesome. Anyone else have a major kind of goal in their life and that they are really trying to, yes?
I want to become
An
an author.
author. Nice.
So I've been watching a lot of previous people who have written books and how they could get it to become successful and more open up to society and how people could read it.
That's great. What kind of book do you want to write?
I want to write a lot of mystery.
Nice. That's awesome. I can't wait to read it. Anyone else have anything specific that they are really shooting for in their life? Yes.
Again, that law enforcement thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now what are you doing right now to put you in that position?
I go on ride-alongs with officers and know a lot of cops around town and do a lot of programs within law enforcement.
That's great. Sweet. Yes.
I want to be a military physician.
Military physician. Okay. So yeah, I'm assuming this program is helping you. Definitely. That's great. Awesome. Well, as you can see, again, everyone has different answers, and everyone is going to have different answers throughout the rest of their life. And you're going to be going through different phases. Right now, you're in phase 1. And phase 1 is for building, for creating the building blocks to get you to be that successful person in the future that you want to become. So if you keep that end goal in mind of who you want to become, and you work backwards from there with all the different steps that it takes to get there, you'll be able to accomplish and be whoever you want to be. So that's the presentation. I hope you guys liked it, and if you have any questions, I'm here. It's a big conversation with going to college and doing all that sort of stuff. I went to college for that 1 year. I followed my dreams of playing baseball, and then I noticed that wasn't really the pathway that I really wanted to go down. And my dreams kind of changed, and that's okay. As long as you are able to pick up and acknowledge that that's a change, and you're changing your phase, you're going to the next phase, and you're shooting, for whatever that goal is, and working backwards again from there. So yeah, I am not playing baseball anymore. Yeah.
it take to flip?
Yeah, so right now it's a buy and hold, so I'm not flipping it. I bought it about a month ago, actually. So I was working in real estate for 3 years. Was able to use all the commissions that I made selling houses, so residentially to other people. You know, if they're selling their house, they're buying a new house. I made a commission on it. I saved up my money, lived in my parents' house, didn't go out to Hoboken and rent and, you know, go drinking with my friends. I didn't do that. I saved up and I put all my money into a multifamily house, and now I'm a landlord and I'm getting rent from people and yeah. So, but that, you know, that comes with its own struggles too. I'm pretty much at that house every single day renovating. I have only 2 out of the 3 units occupied, so I'm kind of just breaking even, and I'm still spending money on the renovation. So, you know, there's give and take with everything. It's not as glamorous as it sounds, but it's you know, it's definitely something I continue to do. So I'll be able to have more stories for you in the future. Anyone else? Sweet. Oh, yes.
What's the More Smarter Show?
Good question. So the More Smarter Show is a podcast that I have, and it's the More Smarter Show is it sounds funny, right? More smarter. It's obviously grammatically incorrect, but the More Smarter Show, we talk about business and we interview business owners. So we've interviewed people that have been on Shark Tank, which is really cool, and different startup companies. Like we had this person on recently that was, you speak into your phone, it's called Tonewell. You speak into your phone and they are able to listen to your tone, like, and then dictate what you need and like vitamins and stuff. I don't even know how it works. It's kind of crazy actually. But what we talked about in that episode was they're going through funding. So they're trying to raise like $3 million to start this, or they already started, but to expand the company. We're talking about all this funding and stuff. So it's really cool. And that's also kind of the opportunity side too, where that was something that I started with a friend of mine. And now here we are 43 episodes later, and I'm talking to a guy who's on Shark Tank, which is pretty cool. And that's just from being a go-getter and being, you know, a self-starter. So you guys have all of that within you. And, you know, you can create opportunities like that for yourself as well. Yes?
Where did you go to college?
I went to this small school in Maryland called Hood College. It was primarily a baseball school, but it was this very small school. I was only there for a year, and I studied marketing, and it was, you know, the reason why I'm in real estate now is because of that. So I'm grateful for that, but obviously it was an experience that I wanted to move past. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for being yes.
I'm going to have you say a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you went around and you had some folks talk about stuff that they already had a focus of where they want to go.
Yeah.
Right? But as many of us in high school, we didn't know that target.
Yeah.
Where initially was your target before you switched and started going down the real estate
Totally.
path? What created that switch for you?
Yeah.
And with all that, what is your recommendation for those that don't necessarily know what their end goal is yet?
Yeah, totally. So for me, thankfully, I had this big, audacious goal of trying to play in the MLB is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get drafted and playing baseball. I kind of shortly after, you know, being committed to playing college, I knew that really wasn't the route. And I started to second guess myself. It was a goal that I had from 7 years old. So you could probably imagine what that anxiety was of like, oh my gosh, I'm changing my whole life plan from it. And that's, you know, destined to happen, I think, for everyone throughout their entire life. And you just have to be able to play on the balls of your feet and be able to adjust to any of those situations that would happen. And for me, I was in construction with my dad. My dad does construction, and he always kind of told me that real estate, whether it's being a real estate agent and selling real estate, or like flipping houses or doing the construction side of it, is a phenomenal place to be, and it'll never really go away. And I was like, you know what, this baseball thing really isn't working out. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Has anyone ever read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Sweet. There we go. Awesome. Love it. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad really changed my life. I read it while I was in college, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's creating money, and like rich don't work for money. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I didn't know. And I kind of had just like a blow up moment. And because of that, I changed my entire perspective on how I was going to be dealing with that situation with baseball. And so I put baseball to the side. I was speaking with Chief. I don't even play baseball at all, hardball. I don't do any of it. I don't even miss it, really, because I changed that phase in my life, and now I'm shooting for something else. And I think the objective that everyone should kind of try and get to, and this is how I work it, is what's the life that you want to live? Start with that. Is it having a big family? Is it living out in the country? Is it working 5 days a week, working really hard, working with your hands? Is it strategizing with a team? Working with that, and then working backwards again. So find out what that ideal life is for yourself. And it doesn't have to be an exact understanding of, okay, I want to be an engineer, I want to be an architect. It doesn't have to be that. You could say, I want to just work in an office where I'm talking with people and I'm working on something bigger than myself. That could be the goal. And then you research it. All right, you guys all have ChatGPT now. I didn't have ChatGPT when I was in high school. I can't imagine what that's like with homework and stuff. Oh my gosh. But so you have that, you brainstorm, and you become, you look at all these different options, and then you start figuring out. You go on those ride-alongs. You do the music stuff. You work on all the different plans that you could have to become that person. So you just have to kind of just sit in a dark room, figure out what you're looking to do, and work backwards from that.
And then playing into that.
Yeah.
With real estate. When
Yes.
you made that, you say you're not in college.
Yeah.
But not just anyone can go out and be a realtor.
Totally.
So what did you have to do to become an official realtor and be able to help people?
Yeah, totally. So I went through a very hard transition phase, as I was saying before, where you go from having one large goal, and then you change the goal, and it's, oh my gosh, your whole world blows up. I'm not playing baseball anymore. I'm not going to school. I kind of like got thrown off. And what you need to do to become a realtor is you need to pass a 75-hour course with tests throughout the process. Then you got to take a school test, and then you do a state exam. So it's probably, if you do it perfectly, it should probably be about 2 to 3 months ish. And I know that sounds long, but it's studying and doing all that sort of stuff. You need to take that time. For me, it took about 9 months, so 3 times longer than what it should have. And during that time, you can imagine I was having an internal crisis, and I didn't know what I was doing. But at the time, I also did not think, again, looking back with having the perspective, I was a time billionaire. It really didn't matter as long as I did it. It didn't matter if I kept failing. To be honest, I failed my test like 4 times. So, but that doesn't matter. I failed and I failed. I got upset. I kept thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I was working construction with my dad. I was like I wasn't feeling good. I was waking up early. It was cold out half the time, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I was just playing baseball in college, and now I'm here underneath a crawl space trying to put up insulation. It's like, what am I doing? And it really pushed me though to say, you know what? No, it doesn't matter how many times I fail. It doesn't matter how many times I am done with this. I am going to keep pushing forward and pass my exam. Once I did that, I started interviewing with different brokerages, and then I just went full turn on mode. I flipped the switch. I was like, this is my life now. I'm going to become this great real estate guy, and it became my personality. And I read every single book that I needed to read. I went to every single networking event. I spoke with every single person that I could have, again, with the principles of going the extra mile. And none of that, none of my success right now with buying the house or having the podcast or even having Chief allow me to come here probably would not have been possible. Number one, if I didn't keep failing. And number two, that I kept that goal in my mind of being this real estate guy. I didn't really even know what that was. I knew the life that I wanted to live. I knew I wanted to have 5 kids and have a 5-acre plot of land and have a big house. And I wanted to work hard, but I didn't want to work too hard where I didn't have my family time. So that's where I started. And for you guys, starting that way, saying, oh, I want to have the penthouse in Manhattan. Okay, penthouse in Manhattan costs a lot of money. How are you going to make the money to do that? And then you kind of work backwards again. So that's my story with it. And I'm always a goal-oriented person, and working towards those big goals is something that I think is necessary.
Are you still a realtor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you have been officially a realtor
Three years. Yep. Yes, sir.
Where are you at today compared to when you started?
Yes. So when I started off, I was still working construction. Of course, you don't flip a switch and you make $1 million. That's not how it went with real estate. I didn't pass my exam and then instantly close a house. I didn't. I was in the first 6 months, I closed on 2 deals, which even that is like relatively good for being a newer agent. And when that happens, I made like $9,000 in like a whole calendar year. I made $9,000. Of course, I was 19 or I was 20 at the time. I was living with my parents. It was enough money to do whatever I was doing, and but it wasn't enough to buy a house. So if that for me to get to that goal, I had to keep grinding. I had to keep networking and being able to close deals and present myself as this professional real estate agent. And for me, I really grinded it out every single year. I was pushing. I was making the calls. I was sending emails. I was trying to go on social media and present myself as this very knowledgeable real estate guy. And gradually, I went from being this young kid with no experience to then I joined a team, and the team helped mentor me to get to the next level, and knowing how to negotiate a deal, knowing how to speak with clients under pressure, and that got me to the next level. I was starting to close deals now. I was starting to work with people. I got that self-fulfillment of being a realtor and saying, all right, yeah, I'm this guy now. Maybe 6 months ago I wasn't, but now I'm here. I'm closing deals. And it started to flip a switch where I got to the next level, and I was like, all right, now I'm running. Now I'm ready to go. And because of that, I became addicted. Honestly, I was like, now I need to close more. And I kind of doubled down. I left the team. I took another step up. I got other mentorship. I'm paying a lot of money a month for a high-level coach, and he's now coaching me to get to the next level. And it just continues to go up and up and up like that. And so went from my first year closing 2 deals, my second year closing 12 deals, and right now is my 3rd year, which I'm on pace to close about 36 deals. So it's something that you just continuously are trying to continue to grow and be better. And I wish I had it on my slide, but I have something that is I have a vision board that I make every single year. And it is one of those like printer boards that like have like the 3, you guys know what I'm talking about, the 3 bends. And I write in it, and I have all these pictures, I have all these different goals, and I have different buckets of which I want to pursue. So I have my health bucket, I have my goals for my health and my fitness and my mentality, and then I have a business bucket and a relationship bucket. As you would assume, growing my network of friends and family and business people, and then also being a high-level real estate agent and investor is being in the game. Being in the game, working really hard, and talking to as many people as you can. So I think without that thing that hangs up in my office, the poster board, saying, all right, this is what you want to do. Now go do it. Work backwards.
All right,
Yeah.
another round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.